Yeah, absolutely. The crisis seems to have deepened, if anything, over the last week, and we're predictably several weeks before any kind of resolution is likely. Both the key players in this, Presidents Trump and Erdogan, are real personality politics people, and any resolution the aesthetics of any resolution will be very important. They'll both need to be able to save face to whatever deal or arrangement is reached. With each passing day, each passing new measure, it becomes increasingly difficult for either side to back down without appearing to have won some kind of concession.
Are you surprised then by this relief trade we've seen for the Turkish lira? Sure, it is still at 5.89 here, but that is a big improvement from the record low we saw closer to 7.2 just earlier this week. Yet the political issues with the U.S. haven't been resolved, and perhaps more importantly, still no comments indicating that the government's willing to let the central bank take the action that so many investors think it should take.
Yes, the recovery is perhaps slightly surprising. Al-Bayrak's call yesterday, in his call yesterday, he tried to take a moderating line, and he did make some of the right noises towards investors. But yeah, absolutely, he didn't really touch on monetary policy in a meaningful way, and until that issue is resolved, until there's some indications that the central bank is operating more independently, we should expect more fluctuation, most likely, in the lira.
George, how do you think President Erdogan's fight, blaming a lot of his economic troubles on the West, is playing out in the country? Because on one hand, you say, sure, perhaps the U.S. can pressure the government if the economic situation deteriorates. But on the other, I've got to wonder if this latest threat of additional sanctions is only strengthening President Erdogan's case of what he calls an economic attack.
Well, precisely, yeah. I think all these sanctions so far have given material for Erdogan's argument that you mentioned, that all Turkey's problems are related to external forces trying to engage in sort of a conspiracy to undermine the country. Erdogan has been drawing on this kind of rhetoric for a long while now. The sanctions are helpful, and it allows Erdogan to draw attention away from what's some of the other issues going on. Over the longer term, though, the question is, how long can they sustain this? They sort of created this almost euphoric siege mentality in Turkey right now. People, you may have seen the images, people smashing iPhones, this kind of thing. Among supporters of the president, there's really kind of an sense of excitement that Turkey's going through an important thing in standing up to America. This will be put to the test once the winter kicks in. Energy prices are expensive in Turkey. People have to keep themselves going over the long, cold winter. So the question then is, okay, while the base will stay loyal, most likely, as long as Erdogan says the right things, there are people on the fringes, those who support the president for the economic stability that he's provided to the country. How long will they stay with him through a downturn? That's the big question right now.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.